I thank you to have invited me in this conference, and I apologize for the late presentation, but I spent much more time in the Middle Ages than today, and my documents didn't support the time travel. So we are busy now with a study that concerns the medieval cities founded between the 12th century and the 14th century, like Znojmo, like Český Krumlov, like Pilsen, like Duke of Cardes. And for us, the cities have two main characteristics. They are surrounded by walls. The walls is an important physical limit between in the city and out the city. And the marketplace and streets alignment mark a clear separation between public space and private space. It's also a strong physical limit, but those two limits has also a very important legal reason. So the rights of the citizens inside of the city are not the same than the rights of the people outside of the city. So it's important for the legislation. And what you are allowed to do in a private space is not the same that you're allowed to do in the public space. So these limits, physical and legal, are very important to ensure a peaceful citizen's life. Now the question is, are those limits, walls and market alignments simply settled random without any rules, or were there some rules followed by the surveyors who designed the new towns? Well, in Little Michel here, you see the marketplace is not evident. Český Krumlov, the walls that I show you here, the sole rule that I seem to follow is to be as close as possible to the bank of the river, and in the upper part of the city, as close as possible to the edge of the rocks or the cliffs. But if we look to a city like Kadaň, you see the map of Kadaň, with the walls of Kadaň, we can spot inside of the walls of Kadaň straight alignments, straight segments. So, first segment, second segment, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7 straight segments. I start from back from the south, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, if we measure the angles, we find here 90 degree plus 15 degree. Next angle, 7.5 degree. Next angle, 18.8. Next angle, 37.5. Next, 45. Next, 7.5 again. Next, 35.5. 80.8, 54.4, 13, and so on. Now, those angles seem to be random, without no rule. If you look very closer to the value of those angles, you can see that we have two angles of 7.5 degree. Is the angle I'll show you there. We have one angle of 15 degree, so 2 times 7.5 degree. We have two angles of 70.5 degree, so this is 5 times 7.5 degree. Then one angle of 45 degrees, 6 times 7.5 degree. Then two angles, multiples of 1/2 of 7.5 degree, one other multiple of 1/2. And we have also multiples of 1/4 and from 3/4 of 7.5 degrees. So, we can observe that the wall was angulated. The angles are not random. The deviation of the angles between consecutive wall segments correspond to recurrent ruled angles, 7.5, 15, 22.5, and so on. The unit of angle is for us, and this is our hypothesis, we say 7.5 degrees was an angle used to settle the walls in Kadan. The angles of 1/4, 1/2, 1/4, and 3/4 must be considered as subunits. And the unit angle of 7.5 degrees can be considered as a rule. And this may be confirmed by the angles we can measure inside of the street patterns, where deviation of 7.5 degrees and from 15 degrees. And the street pattern is linked to the walls with also angles of multiples of 7.5 degrees. Now, the use of topographic angles suggests, of course, triangulation. For us, it's evident. Triangulation today use theodolites. The unit of angle is 1 degree today, and there is an infinite number of subunits. We can go to 1,000 degrees and so on. It seems that in the Middle Ages, the triangulation used only angles of 7.5 degrees, multiples of 7.5 degrees, and there were only 3 subunits. This is what we affirm, and we shall verify it. So in the Middle Ages, they could use only a groma. The Roman groma is, of course, not a good tool, because with the Roman groma we can only measure or fix 19-degree angles. So we did imagine, and you have seen it, a new type of groma, a modified groma. The way to use it was explained to you by the grandmaster of the modified groma, Mr. Zadrazil. Well, and so the modified groma is able to make precise sightings only on angles of 7.5 degrees. Only on angles of 7.5 degrees. This is very important. So we go back to Kadan, and we try to make a triangulation with that type of groma. We make a simulation here with a computer. So we need to find a station. In the center of Kadan, you have the town hall tower. We mean that the station was on the place of the town hall tower. I don't say this tower was used as a station, as a starting point of the triangulation, but this tower was later built on the place where the first station was. So from the station O, we measure a base to one of the poles located on the wall, the pole 1, big one, and we start from there our triangulation. We go to the left. Now, pay attention, is the only sightings that the groma allowed. Is the computer decide the orientation? I can only choose one of those orientations. I choose the middle one, and I try the first triangulation. We have 2 intersections. I take the first. Next sighting is not really concluding. This one is totally outside of the wall, not a good one. So we start. We take another other angle as starting angle. And you see the arrow cross the wall at a certain point. I try now from the station to make a sightings to that crossing. Computer decide your orientation. And the middle one is straight on the wall. Now, I go to the north. 3 orientations possible. I choose one. It's strictly on the wall. Look at the place where the arrow crosses again over the wall. I make a sighting in that direction. And I have an arrow crossing strictly on the wall. Next one. I'm not exactly on the wall, but I reach the angle of the wall, the north angle of the wall. Make a sighting in that direction, and again, I'm strictly on the angle. I continue the south. Okay. Now you know the method. I take the arrow in the middle. Okay. Once again, I'm not strictly on the wall, but you see I reach the angle of the wall. So I make a sighting in that direction, and I'm unlucky, I don't reach the angle. So I need to choose one of the arrows. I take this one, I go to the north. The arrow follows nearly the wall in the northern part of the city. I make a sighting to the corner, and I reach the corner. Then, now it's finished, I make a last arrow, and I turn the buckle, and I obtain what resembles to a triangulation, so a web of triangles inside of the walls, and very precise, located, not strictly on the wall, but really close, very close to the wall. Now the question is, of course, why to triangulate a city? Well, triangulation is based on the properties of a right-angled triangle. First rule says, it's simple, when you know the length of one side and the value of one angle, you can calculate two other sides. And second rule, whatever the triangle is, you can divide it into two right-angled rectangles that you can calculate. Why is the triangulation necessary? Well, if you can triangulate a city, you can calculate the perimeter of the site, and you can evaluate the cost of the future walls. You can calculate the surface of the future city, so you can estimate the income of the future city, because you can evaluate the number of citizens, burghers, that will live in your city. These are important dates for the people who want to found the city. I don't say that in the Middle Ages that I did calculate the perimeter of the walls, or that I did calculate the surface, but they were able to do it. And it was the more easy for them that I used only 12 different angles, and with 12 different angles you can only construct 6 different triangles. So you need only to know to calculate everything, only a very reduced number of trigonometric values. So once again, don't say that I did it, but it was possible. Now we continue looking to the city of Kadan. We have now the position of the triangulation website. It's not the position of the walls, and we shall multiply now the sightings to try to reach the correct position, most correct position of the wall, but therefore I need to include one half unit sighting, the blue one. And if I use also 1/4 of unit sightings, like this, well, I can reach on the east side perfectly the position of the wall. So what we mean is that the subunits, the 3 subunits, 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4, were only used to fix the wall, not for the calculation. Now, the 3 pattern, I spot out here the poles on the wall we fixed in the first operation, and I will try to fix the alignments inside. I start from pole 1. I have the west side of the marketplace. I start of pole 5. I have the east side. I start of pole 4. I fix the northern corner of the marketplace and the north side. I start from 1 point 1, I have the source one. See, and I can confirm there is an algorithm in this web, an algorithm in this web of triangles. So it's normal that you have conversions. Now, we analyzed today 45 cities, 29 in Czech Republic, 6 in Slovakia, and 10 in Austria. We could establish that the use of 7.5 degree, unit angle of 7.5 degree, was used only in 30 of 2 cities. What about the 15 resting? Well, we had a surprise analyzing a city like Pilsen. In Pilsen, we have a very strong checkers board street pattern. The deviation there is not 7.5 degree, but 5.625, corresponding to the division of the 19 degrees in 16 different angles. So we had 2 units used, and we made the test on České Budějovice. České Budějovice, you have one tower in the middle of the city. We try to use the station. Impossible. At least we understand that the real station of České Budějovice were the 4 angles of the marketplace, and that the walls were fixed with these 4 stations in the same way than in Kadaň. Yes, here in the south, it's not totally right, but south of České Budějovice you had water and marshland, so there are other reasons to fix the walls. Now we can, hello, and fix the walls using half units of angles. Second difference is fixing the street pattern. The street patterns in this type of city, the 16, division 16 and 4 station, is fixed by the station. The analysis of České Budějovice is not finished here, but I have no time to show the total analysis of the city. Now, we know 2 different units of angles were implemented, division in 12 parts, 7.5 degree, 30 city analyzed, 16 parts, 10 city analyzed, and in day 12 the surveyors used this type, create this type of city, very organic, you know, and in 16 more regulated cities. Now, there are also variations with the number of stations. We analyze cities using 1 station, using 4 stations. We analyze cities using 2 stations, 8 stations. I have no time to explain it to you today. You know, we are working since a long time on this study, and we know much more than I could explain to you today, but the time is limited, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you.